The reason she can't forget you, and you never even knew. The most dangerous man is the one who doesn't even know the power he holds. You are not what you think you are. You are what you make others feel in silence. Somewhere right now, a woman is staring at her phone, not because of what was said, but because of you. Not the version of you that tried to impress her, not the one who cracked a joke or played it cool, but the one who didn't even know he was being watched, the one who walked away and never realized she never stopped thinking about him. You don't believe it. You've told yourself the same lie 1,000 times. I'm just average, just a man like any other. But here's the truth, and it might sting. You were never overlooked, you were feared. Not because you were dangerous, but because you were different. Because you didn't chase, because you didn't need to be seen. And that quiet strength made you unforgettable. But no one told you. No one pointed out the signs. So you walked through the world, never realizing how many women were secretly watching you from the shadows, waiting for a moment that never came. Now it's time to learn what they saw in you, before it's too late. The moment her body gave you away, before her mind could stop it. What we cannot speak about, we must pass over in silence. Ludwig Wittgenstein. There is no heavier burden than an untold story inside you. Zora Neale Hurston. You didn't touch her. You didn't flirt. You didn't even try. But something in her cracked, and you didn't notice. Because real desire doesn't show up wearing red lipstick and loud laughter. It shows up in the micro movements, the shifts, the slips, the betrayals of her body. She's the woman who's always in control, sharp, elegant, commanding, but around you, she fidgets. Her hand reaches for her necklace, then drops. She tucks her hair behind her ear, then does it again, and again, and again. Her laugh, usually measured, now escapes too quickly, like it startled even her. Her voice climbs a little higher. She interrupts herself. She apologizes for jokes you found charming. And when you speak, she holds her breath. Then suddenly, she looks away. Fast, too fast. As if your eyes undressed something inside her she wasn't ready to reveal. That wasn't awkwardness. That was desire colliding with fear. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Søren Kierkegaard. Because what she feels, it terrifies her. Not because it's wrong, but because it's real. She has mastered her mask. Around everyone else, she is composed. But around you, her logic short-circuits. Her rehearsed charm fails her. Her breath shortens. Her center collapses. Why? Because your presence doesn't let her perform. It pulls something deeper out of her. Something primal. And here's what you never realized. Desire is not a performance. It's a malfunction. A beautiful, sacred one. She might even seem colder to you. Distant, unimpressed. But that's the armor, because the deeper a woman feels, the tighter she holds the mask. The things we hide control us more than the things we show. Carl Jung. Her body, however, didn't get the memo. Her body is honest. It shakes when she's near you. It glances back when her pride says not to. It leans in even as she steps away. You see, most men miss this because they were raised to only recognize love when it's loud, obvious, simple. But the women who feel the most say the least. Her silence, that's restraint. Her distance, that's protection. She's not afraid of you. She's afraid of the version of herself that comes alive because of you. That version, the unguarded, trembling, wide-eyed girl, that version hasn't come out in years, and she doesn't know what you'd do if you ever saw her. So she hides it, behind posture, behind politeness, behind the lie that you were just another guy. But her body tells the truth, and the next time you see her reach for her necklace, tuck her hair, glance away, or breathe too shallowly, don't ignore it. Don't puff your chest like you won something. Just understand, you didn't cause her to fall apart. You gave her something to fall apart for. The moment she couldn't erase, when you saw the woman, She was hiding. We are not punished for our secrets. We are punished by them. Carl Jung. A woman is never more afraid than when she is seen by a man who doesn't want to own her. Unknown. You've long forgotten what you said, but she hasn't. She remembers it too well. It wasn't some grand speech. It wasn't a line designed to impress. Hell, you probably didn't even mean for her to hear it, but she did, and it hit a part of her that no man had ever touched. Not her body, not her beauty, but the truth beneath her performance. You didn't fall for the show. You saw through it. The confidence, manufactured, the wit, a defense mechanism, the power, a mask. And in one unfiltered glance, you made her feel what she spent years bearing. Vulnerability. You looked at her, not the way men look when they're hungry for sex or validation, but like you were trying to remember a face you once saw in a dream. You weren't reacting. You weren't chasing. You were just present. And that terrified her, because she couldn't manipulate presence. She couldn't perform her way out of it. She realized in that moment, you weren't trying to conquer her. You were challenging her to be real. And that's the one thing she wasn't ready for. So she pulled back. She lost interest. She got busy. But not because you were weak. No, because you were unforgettable. She could forget the men who begged. She could erase the ones who tried too hard. But not you. Not the man who stared through her soul and didn't flinch. Men fall in love with what they see. Women fall in love with how they're seen. She'll tell herself you didn't matter. She'll even find another man who checks all the safe boxes. But every now and then, something cracks through the noise. A certain song, a scent in a crowded street, a man speaking with the same quiet conviction, and she'll remember. There was once a man who didn't want her image. He wanted her truth, and she wasn't ready. Here's what most men don't understand. The words don't stay, the gifts don't stay, the bodies fade. But presence, that lingers, that etches itself into the memory like a scar under silk. And if you were truly present, if your gaze didn't tremble, if your silence said more than words ever could, then you left a mark. Not on her skin, not in her bed, but in that shadowy place of her psyche that she rarely visits, the woman she hides even from herself. And she'll never tell you this, because to admit it would be to admit that you awakened something sacred and left before she could control it. You don't forget the fire, you forget the warmth, the shape, the smell, but the burn always remembers. The Century Oracle. She will come back, but you must not let her in. There is no power like the man who does not flinch when beauty returns. The Century Oracle. Women remember the man who walked away with silence, not with bitterness. She will return, not because she loves you, but because she remembers who she was in your presence. That woman, the one who was exposed, who felt naked in her illusions, who saw in your eyes the one thing she couldn't manufacture, truth. You didn't chase, you didn't kneel, you didn't beg. You simply saw her, and that's what terrifies her now. Because your absence isn't emptiness. Your absence is order. Your silence is judgment. Your distance is a mirror. And a woman, when faced with her reflection in a man's unwavering presence, will either rise into it or run. She ran, and now she returns. But you must understand this. She's not coming back for you. She's coming back for a feeling. That mysterious energy you carried. That silent gravity she couldn't explain to her friends. That haunted presence that didn't need her approval, and therefore had power over her imagination. Now she misses that power, so she cloaks her return in soft words. Hey, I've been thinking. You're the only one who ever really understood me. I don't know why I pushed you away, but listen carefully. What she misses is the reflection you gave her, not the man you are. She wants the drug again. She wants to feel like a goddess under your gaze, but she doesn't want to become the woman worthy of that gaze. She wants your fire, not your discipline. She wants your soul, not your standards. And if you open the door, if you let her back in too easily, She will not feel awe. She will feel victory, and the mystery will die. A woman's desire is fueled by tension. Kill the tension, and you kill the fire. You must not let her in. Not because you're bitter, not because you're angry, but because the most sacred act of love a man can give is not forgiveness, it is consequence. Her return is a test, not of her intentions, but of your evolution. The old you would have opened the door. The healed you remembers why you closed it. This isn't about revenge, it's about alignment. You are no longer the man she left, and she is still the woman who needed you to become small. Let her knock, let her ache, let her learn. Because a man who has rebuilt his soul does not trade it for comfort. He becomes rare, unreachable, a myth in her mind. And that, my brother, is how you haunt a woman forever. By becoming the man she can no longer touch, because she did not respect him when she could. To the woman who treated your soul like a convenience, your silence is a sermon, your absence is a lesson. And if one day she truly returns, not in fear, not in ego, but in truth, she will not knock, she will kneel. And until that day, close the door and guard the fire. She never said it, but her body did. And if you missed it, you were never meant to keep her.